Imagine this. It's the morning after leg day. Your alarm goes off, you go to sit up, and your body immediately reminds you that yesterday happened. You swing your legs over the side of the bed, stand up, take one step toward the bathroom, and stop. Because that one step just told you everything you need to know about the next 48 hours of your life. The stairs are a trap, the car seat is a trap, every chair in your office is a trap, and the worst part, you did this to yourself and you had no plan for what came next. That changes today. But before we jump into solutions, you need to actually understand what's going on inside your body, because once you get it, everything else makes way more sense. That soul-crushing, can't function, why did I do this pain you feel after a hard session, it has a name. It's called DOMS, Delayed Onset Muscle Soreness, which is really just a scientific way of saying everything hurts and I regret my decisions. But here's what's actually happening underneath the surface. When you train, especially during the lowering phase of any movement, the descent of a squat, the controlled drop of a curl, the slow negative of a press, you're putting your muscles under enormous eccentric stress. That's the part where you're lengthening the muscle under load, and it's also the part that causes the most microscopic damage to your muscle fibers. These are tiny, tiny tears, not injuries, but controlled damage that your body will eventually use to make you stronger. The problem is what happens next. Your immune system kicks in, inflammation floods the area, calcium starts building up inside the muscle cells, and pain signals begin firing. And here's the kicker. None of this hits you immediately. You finish your session feeling fine, maybe even great. Then 24 hours pass, and suddenly you can't fully extend your arms. 48 hours in, and that's when it peaks. The stiffness, the aching, the full body protest every time you try to move. Then around 72 hours, your body finally starts pulling itself back together, and you begin feeling like a functioning human being again. The frustrating part? Most people stay in that painful window far longer than they actually need to, simply because they do absolutely nothing to support their recovery. They just wait it out and suffer. And that's exactly what we're going to stop doing today. Now, before we get into the actual solutions, we need to address the biggest, most widespread myth in the entire fitness world, and that myth is stretching. Go ahead and brace yourself because this one surprises people. Stretching does not reduce soreness. Not before your workout, not after, not both combined. The research on this is not ambiguous. It is clear and consistent. Static stretching, dynamic stretching, pre-workout, post-workout, none of it has been shown to significantly reduce DOMS. So all those 15-minute stretching routines you've been doing at the end of your sessions, desperately hoping that tomorrow won't feel like a disaster, they're not doing what you think they're doing. Every coach and every gym veteran has probably drilled this into you at some point, and yet the science just doesn't back it up when it comes to soreness specifically. Now, and this is important, that doesn't mean stretching is useless. It absolutely has value. It improves your mobility, develops your flexibility over time, and plays a real role in long-term injury prevention. So keep stretching if you enjoy it and it serves your movement goals. Just stop expecting it to be your soreness solution, because it won't deliver on that promise. All right, now let's actually talk about what does work. Foam rolling. Let's start here, because this is the one most people completely ignore. You've seen that foam roller sitting in the corner of the gym collecting dust, probably surrounded by the equipment nobody touches. Grab it. Because what foam rolling essentially does is give you access to something very close to a deep tissue massage for free on your own schedule. It works by mechanically compressing the muscle and surrounding fascia, the connective tissue that wraps around everything, which drives blood flow directly into the area. And blood flow is everything in recovery. More blood means more oxygen, more nutrients, more of the building blocks your muscles need to repair themselves, and faster clearance of the waste products causing that dull, throbbing ache. Here's how to actually do it properly. Place the foam roller under the muscle group you trained and roll slowly, and I mean slowly, along the length of the muscle. When you land on a spot that makes you want to tap out, don't run from it. Stop there. Breathe. Hold that pressure for 20 to 30 seconds and let the tissue release. That's where the real work happens. A few ground rules. Don't roll fast like you're trying to get it over with, because speed kills the effectiveness. Don't park on one spot for 5 straight minutes thinking more is better. You'll just irritate the tissue. And absolutely do not roll directly over joints, bones, or your lower spine unless causing yourself unnecessary damage sounds appealing to you. Keep the total session to about 5 to 10 minutes, cover the major muscle groups you worked, and spend a little extra time near the joints. That's where tension tends to accumulate and hide. And yes, it's going to be uncomfortable. If you're rolling along happily with no reaction, you're either doing it wrong or you're not hitting the right spots. The grimacing is part of the process. Contrast therapy, the hot and cold shower method. This one is genuinely the MVP of accessible recovery tools. Better than stretching alone, better than ice by itself, and light years ahead of doing nothing. The concept is simple, but the effect is powerful. Step into the shower and start with hot water, as hot as you can comfortably handle, and stay there for 1 to 2 minutes. Let the heat fully penetrate. Then flip it all the way to cold, not lukewarm, not slightly cool, cold. Stay under that cold water for a full minute, then switch back to hot. Repeat this cycle 3 to 4 times. What's happening physiologically is fascinating. Hot water causes your blood vessels to dilate. They open up and expand. Cold water causes them to constrict. They tighten and compress. By alternating between the two, you're essentially creating a pumping mechanism inside your circulatory system. It flushes metabolic waste out of the muscles and pulls fresh, nutrient-rich blood back in, like a massage happening from the inside out. If you have access to a proper sauna and a cold plunge, this concept scales up beautifully. 5 minutes in the sauna followed by 2 minutes in the ice plunge, repeated for several cycles, is one of the most powerful recovery protocols elite athletes use. That first hit of cold is going to shock your system and make you seriously reconsider your life choices. That's normal. Push through it. The adaptation and the recovery benefits are absolutely worth it.
Ice baths. This is the more extreme version, but when you need serious recovery, it delivers serious results. After an intense training session, your muscles are inflamed. That inflammation is the direct cause of most of the pain you're feeling. Cold immersion aggressively reduces that inflammation, quiets the pain signals, and creates the conditions for faster tissue repair. The mechanism is straightforward. Cold constricts blood vessels, reduces metabolic activity in the tissue, and slows the cascade of inflammatory responses. Less inflammation, less pain, faster recovery. To do it, fill your bathtub with cold water and add 1 or 2 bags of ice. Then comes the actual hard part, getting in. Your brain is going to resist this with everything it has. It's going to throw every excuse at you. Ignore it. Once you're in, breathe steadily and stay calm. A few important rules. Don't exceed 8 minutes in the ice bath. Beyond that, diminishing returns kick in and you risk other issues. Make sure you're physically warmed up before getting in, not jumping straight from a cold car into an ice tub. And if you're new to this, start with shorter durations and build up gradually over time. Your tolerance will grow faster than you think. And if a bathtub isn't available to you, don't use it as an excuse. Contrast showers get you the vast majority of the benefits and are completely accessible. Nutrition. This might be where most people are leaving the most recovery potential on the table, because what you put into your body after training dictates how fast or how slowly it heals. Your muscles are not rebuilding themselves on willpower and good intentions. They need specific nutrients, and if those nutrients aren't there, recovery drags, soreness persists, and performance suffers. Start with protein, the non-negotiable foundation. You want to be hitting somewhere between 1.5 and 2 grams of protein per kilogram of body weight every single day, not just on training days. Chicken, lean beef, fish, eggs, Greek yogurt, cottage cheese, protein shakes. Get it in through whatever combination works for your life. Then layer in omega-3 fatty acids because these are among the most powerful natural anti-inflammatory compounds available. Salmon, mackerel, sardines, walnuts, flaxseed, avocado. Eat these regularly and your inflammation levels will thank you. Next, make sure you're getting plenty of colorful fruits and vegetables. Berries, pineapple, tomatoes, leafy greens. These are loaded with antioxidants that directly combat oxidative stress and inflammation in muscle tissue, meaning your body spends less time fighting damage and more time rebuilding. And then there's the flip side, the stuff you need to stop putting in your body if you actually want to recover. Fried food, soda, fast food, ultra-processed meats, all of these are pro-inflammatory. They actively work against your recovery by keeping inflammation elevated for longer. If you're training hard and eating garbage, you're essentially fighting yourself. Eat like someone who actually respects the work they're putting in. Quick but important bonus point. Tart cherry juice. This is a genuinely underrated recovery tool that has solid research behind it. Tart cherries are exceptionally high in anthocyanins, which are potent anti-inflammatory and antioxidant compounds. Studies have shown that regular consumption around training can meaningfully reduce muscle soreness and speed up recovery. 8 to 12 ounces after your workout is all you need. Fair warning, it tastes exactly like a cherry that woke up in a terrible mood. It's sour, it's intense, and it's nothing like the sweet cherry flavor you might be expecting. But it works, and when it comes to recovery, results trump taste. Every single time.
Active recovery. Here's the counterintuitive one that most people get completely wrong. When you're sore, every instinct tells you to stop moving. Just lie down. Don't touch anything. Let the body rest. And while rest is important, complete inactivity is actually working against you. When you stay completely still, blood circulation slows down, metabolic waste products build up in the muscle tissue, and the delivery of nutrients to the area decreases. Everything stagnates. Recovery slows down as a result. Light, intentional movement solves this. Even gentle activity increases blood flow significantly, keeps the lymphatic system moving, delivers more nutrients to damaged tissue, and helps clear out the byproducts of inflammation. If your legs are destroyed from leg day, go for a 20-minute walk. Hop on a stationary bike at low resistance. Do a relaxed swim. If your upper body is wrecked, do some light yoga flows, gentle shoulder circles, or easy body weight movements that don't challenge the muscles but keep them moving. The golden rule here is simple. If you're getting out of breath or feeling your muscles working hard, you've gone too far. This is not a second workout. This is therapeutic movement. Keep it easy, keep it intentional, and let your body do what it naturally does when circulation is supported. Heal. Heat therapy. Sauna sessions, hot baths, steam rooms, heating pads, all of these genuinely help with muscle recovery. But the timing is everything, and this is where most people make a critical mistake that actually makes their soreness worse. Immediately after training, your muscles are already inflamed and irritated. Applying heat in that window adds to the inflammatory load and extends the discomfort rather than relieving it. So in the hours right after a session, skip the heat entirely. The window where heat becomes genuinely powerful is 24 to 48 hours post-training, right when DOMS is at its peak. At that point, applying heat for 15 to 20 minutes relaxes the muscle tissue, dramatically increases local blood flow, breaks down the stiffness and rigidity that makes movement so painful, and signals the nervous system to reduce tension in the area. Sauna, hot bath, steam room, take your pick and spend 15 to 20 minutes in it during that recovery window. And here's a pro tip worth implementing immediately. Combine your heat session with foam rolling afterward. When muscle tissue is heated, it's more pliable, more receptive to pressure, and releases tension far more easily than it would at baseline temperature. Same foam rolling effort, dramatically better results. The combination is greater than either tool on its own. Sleep. Save the best and most important for last. If everything else on this list is the supporting cast, sleep is the main character, and it's the one most people are casually, consistently sabotaging without realizing how much it's costing them. If you're averaging 5 to 6 hours a night, all the foam rolling, contrast showers, ice baths, and tart cherry juice in the world are operating at a fraction of their potential, because the overwhelming majority of your body's recovery and repair work happens while you're asleep.
During deep sleep, your body releases the highest concentrations of growth hormone it produces all day. This is what directly drives muscle repair and growth. Inflammation markers drop. Your nervous system resets and recovers from the cumulative stress of training. Protein synthesis ramps up. Every biological process associated with recovery accelerates during sleep in a way that simply cannot be replicated while you're awake. When you cut sleep short, soreness lasts significantly longer. Your performance in the next session drops, your mood tanks, your hunger hormones go haywire, and your motivation to train at all takes a hit. You feel terrible across the board, and no recovery protocol makes up for it. The target is a minimum of 7 hours of quality sleep, and 8 is genuinely better for people in hard training blocks. To actually get there, commit to a consistent sleep and wake time every day, including weekends, because your circadian rhythm responds to consistency. Sleep in a room that's cool and as dark as you can make it. Your body temperature needs to drop to initiate deep sleep, and light disrupts melatonin production. Put your phone away at least 30 minutes before bed. The blue light, the stimulation, the endless scroll, all of it delays sleep onset and reduces sleep quality. These aren't complicated changes. They just require actually prioritizing recovery the same way you prioritize training. So here's the full picture. You now have everything you need to completely transform how fast you recover from training. Foam rolling to drive blood flow and break up tension, contrast therapy and ice baths to fight inflammation and flush out waste, nutrition built around protein, omega-3s, and antioxidants, and away from garbage that keeps inflammation elevated, tart cherry juice as your secret weapon, active recovery to keep circulation going when your instincts tell you to stay still, heat therapy timed correctly to maximize its effect, and sleep protected, prioritized, and consistent as the foundation everything else sits on. You don't need to do all of these after every single session. Pick 3 or 4 that fit your life and do them consistently. Because if you're currently doing none of this, that's the direct reason why you're walking like you aged 40 years after every leg day. The soreness isn't inevitable. The suffering is optional. Start recovering like someone who actually wants to keep making progress. And if this video just saved you from another week of unnecessary pain, smash that like button. Now close the app, go do at least 3 of these things, and make sure that tomorrow you can actually make it down the stairs without grabbing the handrail for dear life.